So we are doing something quite crazy today. We want to do live surgery in Frankfurt, which one will be, there will be everything inside what's normally now on the market, whatever you can do around one patient. And what we want to do, it's a very, very difficult case we want to do. And these cases are so difficult that it's real life, because we don't want to make a show. We want to show you only what we can do with our instruments, with our software, with our lab, with our technology today. And we want to bring everything together, and we don't want to hurry. We don't want to do something what can be a risk for a patient, or what can be something only to show. So it can be that we make mistakes. It can be, so also what happens when you take a patient, to choose a patient, it's not so easy, because patients have different problems, and when they came to a situation that they need a big restoration like that, it can be something where's everything inside, from sinus lift to placement, from implants, smile creator, or whatever you need. So to do things like that, you need really, really good things to do, you know. And we have we chose three different patients, because we have one for today, one for tomorrow, and then there was a third patient. And we are very happy that we have some sponsors like Camlog with us, and they help us to help these patients to have the implants and some facilities, and that's very cool. We are very happy to have the University of Frankfurt in the boat, and these three patients are three desires from different people. Each one wants something else, and we have three extremely challenges. But of course, we can only operate one patient today. We can do everything, and it's a long time, you saw it before, long time to prepare all the things, all the different modules to create one patient. And the patient we chose are patients, they need a lot of these things. They need from exoplan, they need to recreate, we need to do mock-ups, we do everything, we place implants, and there's everything only in one patient.
Dear colleagues, on behalf of the Goethe University in Frankfurt, I want to cordially welcome you to our University Dental Institute, Carolinum, to take part here in the live surgery of the second exocad Insight. I'm really proud and honored to present you today the future in dentistry. We will show you how it is possible to bring together the necessary different innovative technologies on one platform to guarantee a perfect, immediate restoration of a patient regarding functional and aesthetics aspects. We will present you in a hybrid format for the first time, so that you can online and offline look and learn. For this, now sit back, relax, enjoy, and learn what we will present you here, how such a digitally based perfect restoration will happen. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thanks to Professor Wasada. And now we're switching to the university, is that right? They are waiting to start. You can go over to the university, please.
Hello, I'm Michael. Can you hear me?
Wow, very good.
We are here waiting for you to start, and also I'm very happy to be part of the team. I don't want to talk too much, just show a few things. We have now here the situation with the patient still having all his teeth in his mouth. And in this case, we're working with a double guide. And this is basically based on the fact that we need to extract some teeth before. So you see, this is basically the first guide here. And if you see now, we're placing this inside the mouth. It's not fitting in there, because still all the teeth are in there. So what we're going to do now is extract some of these teeth to be able to place the third guides. and then we'll start with the drilling procedure. And I think, Uli, you can continue with your lecture, and then once we have extracted the teeth, or maybe you want to see one, you can come back then.
So, thanks to Professor Sada that we can be in his room, so it's amazing. And that's something what I want to tell you, because why we are there, because I'm working also a little bit at the University of Frankfurt. I'm lecturing in the MOI programs, and I'm also a little bit crazy, but I'm also a student of the Master of Dental Technician, Dental Technology. So, working a little bit in the university, combining all these things, all these people, we are able to be there, and very proud that they doing that with us, and that we have an amazing team behind us to do things like that. So, I want to explain you a little bit the steps to reach, or what we are doing when we're doing a case like that. So we are starting in the first appointment to make the choice for the right patients. So this will be, these are basic steps, but it's important to know what we have done, because someone of you, sure, they will do it every time, and other people maybe want to really register what we can do step by step. So the first appointment of the patient is we need all the information. So we need some impressions, or an oral scan, or study impressions, to understand a little bit how is the situation of the patient. That will be the first step. Then we do a panoramic. So with the panoramic we can understand how is the situation of the bone. If he is a candidate to do things like that, or whatever we can do, we can only see in a first diagnostics. What we are doing, we're doing some pictures from the patient. It's very important to have pictures from the patient to understand what kind of possibilities we have. So, and the next step will be the evaluation of all these things together, and to have to understand what kind of patient, and if he can do it, if he can approach all these risks, and if he can, the costs, if it are sometimes very high. In that case, the patients are fortunate because they are a little bit, we help them a little bit to do these cases, and that's very good. So this is the initial diagnostics, and that would be the appointment where we have a lot of patients. And then we have to make the choice which patient is able to come over in our surgery, and we have to, of course, to see if they're strong enough to do a surgery like that, because we want to place a lot of implants and it needs time. I think these 2 hours, what I want to tell you, we don't want to work in 2 hours to define everything. We will show you steps in these 2 hours, and where we are. Okay? Because sometimes I did different surgeries, life surgeries, where you have 30 minutes, 1 hour, and you have to do it. In any case, what happens, happens. Here it's real life, and it's future projects. This is completely digital dentistry in the future. It is nothing what you can do every day. So it's something where you can learn, and you go on step by step. Our patients, each patient has a life, social life, has a lot of things behind, and why did he reach this situation? And you have to understand everything, and it's not each patient can have a big restoration. They have to be prepared to clean the things, to be able to use the teeth afterwards. So if someone is smoking too much or whatever, and in the end maybe it doesn't make sense doing something like that, because what we want to do, we want to change the life of these patients. Having 3 patients, having 3 different minds and wishes, of course, because these people have all done different things in their life. Our first one of these 3 patients, what we have, it was Patrick. Patrick is a nice guy. We came over at the 24th of August to take all the informations of these patients, and we did some interviews with them. I won't show you the whole interviews, but I want to show you some wishes and some situations, how they start.
If I had a magic wand, the perfect solution for me would be a beautiful smile, beautiful and straight teeth with no gaps, basically without any problems.
Ja, einfach ohne die Probleme, die man so hat.
And this is just the first patient, and of course, he's young and he's strong, and he can afford all this surgery today, and it's the patient where we are operating. Maybe you recognize it on his teeth. What we are doing right now is Patrick. Patrick is the one from today. Then we have Christiane. And Christiane has a similar situation. She lost happiness with her teeth. You know, she has a lot of problems had in her life, and for us it's very emotional to make them happy, all these people, all these three people. And you see what is with
Ideally,
her.
it would be fantastic if I could laugh freely again, could show my teeth, and didn't have to be ashamed of them. And above all, the ability to eat everything again. I have been torturing myself for a very long time and had problems with my teeth from a young age. I would love to get rid of pain and be free again.
Yes, you see, all patients are different. You see on the picture on the right side, you see that the teeth have no chance to be there. They have to go away. We have to extract them. This is a big decision. It's a clinical decision. I'm a dental technician, so it's not my choice. We discussed it in the team. We discussed it with everybody. If it's necessary to extract some teeth, if there are some teeth able to stay there, we keep them. But we have to clean up things where are risk for the work for the future. So in the end, she had a similar situation like Patrick. Then we have Renate. Renate is an old lady, a very, very, very kind, nice lady. She is 84 years old. And what's our thought is to do an operational life surgery about some hours like that. It would be too heavy for her. So in the end, she was the third patient. And normally, we wanted to sponsor or to help 2 patients. But she was so nice that it was emotional to say no to her, you know, that you can go home. Yeah. But in the end, it was so nice also from the University of Frankfurt to say, don't care, we will do that. And Jonas Lawrence will operate them the next weeks, and we will have all of these patients. We will have in the future some information, some pictures, and whatever we have done, you will see in the future. So this is Renate.
A mouth where all my teeth had grown evenly. From the back teeth to the front teeth, everything nice and even, as you see it in the magazine. That it looks better, that I can eat properly again, when everything is perfect in my mouth.
So you see, we are using a lot of digital tools. That's the most important thing. But so to send her home without to make her happy, it was not possible. So we will do that. We will do all the 3 patients. And then we have to start, after the choice for the patient, we have to start to work on the university. We go to Frankfurt to take all the steps, all the necessary things we need. Because we don't need anymore a lot of appointments. Because we have a plan. We have a perfect plan to work on it. So for this plan, we need the basics. And the basics, I will show you step by step what we need. So it's not so long, it was some weeks ago, 24th of August. Because also DICOM data has to be fresh. You cannot use DICOM data from 6 months before for a surgery like that, because things are changing. So it has to be just in time, you have to be attached to the surgery and everything doing step by step. What point, I have a look at what point they are. Oh, they are quite, I can see what they are doing, and they are on a very good moment. We will see them soon. So I explain you the steps, and the steps are the B, or the data collection. Of course, we take an intraoral scan. It's the first thing to do. So we have the first data. Then we need the DICOM data for the implant planning. And we're doing all the things, all in the university in Frankfurt. We take a face scan, of course. And then where we are working is something, I don't want to say new, but it's something what I have in my eyes for years, because we are talking about guided surgery, talking about years ago from all-on-4, guided surgery, digital dentistry, but there was one point missing. And that was, for my idea, occlusion. And now we are quite round. We can also make occlusion movements through mojo. So we did a combination to all of these different things to make everything round. Then we need the pictures for the smile creator, of course, because if not, we cannot do the smile creator. Then we make these interviews with the patients, what they want, because we have to know to make them happy. Of course, we need the color. We can do it just in the same moment. We can do it with pictures. We can do measurements, whatever you want. But what I'm doing in a case like that, I trust a lot digital dentistry, but these are extreme cases. So for extreme cases, I prefer to take a normal impression to make, in the end, a last check if everything is working well and if everything is going in a good position. So that's very important for my idea, because we don't want to fly. We want to do very good and cool work for this patient, and we want to be in a safety area. Of course, we are doing scientific documentation. We will document everything what you will see in the future. Maybe we will do some publication about these works. And we do the diagnostics and the communication. So now we step into all these different things what we are doing. So the first is the intraoral scan. This was with the line technology. So Michael did all the scans. And what we have in all this workflow right now, it will be only Patrick, because I don't want to show you all 3 patients right now, because it will be in the future. So I see that they're going fast, and that we can soon be with them. And
hello, Uli.
Hi.
We are back now. We extracted the teeth. And we have our first guide now here, as you can see. And basically now, sorry, can you just move the arm away that I can see? So this guide is now the one, we have our first guide. We extracted the teeth, which you can see here inside the mouth, very carefully. We maintained all the bone, which was possible. And now we place the guide on the remaining teeth to be able to place the implants correctly. And this is one of the most important things, to always check that the guide is in the right position, because otherwise all your planning is useless. The most important thing, that's why we have these windows here, as you can see. And these windows help us that we can see that the guide is on the correct position. And what we will start now is basically the implant placement. So we will start with implant 1-4 is the first one, right?
Yes, we go
so
from one side to the other
machine.
side.
So, Tessa, jetzt den den Pre-Drill einmal. So we basically have our first burr here. We use from the Camlog guided system. Very important that we use this one to flatten the ridge. And now it's important that the nurse and you together stabilize the guide in the right position. And then we go down. Tessa, ich brauche hier Bohrverlängerung. So you can see now I'm coming in contact with the tooth which is in front of that. So what I need to do now, I need to use the drill extension to be able to get around there. So you can see here. Wie bitte? 1,4. Also. Alles okay, Patrick? Gut, schlimmer als das wird's nicht. So we can see already a little bit contact. Then we can basically, for the implant on the opposing side, we need the tissue punch. This is da. because there is the only position where we didn't have the tooth before. So we need to punch the gum in the area, which we can later on place back. Tessa Mikroskalpell und Jana einmal die Schablone rausnehmen, bitte. Ja.
So
now we have made the perforation there.
It's extremely precise.
In order not to need to raise a flap, and we just cut out the gum we used with the tissue punch before, which we will then later on can be able in Raspa, einmal klein. Okay. Wir gucken mal.
Yeah. The precision of the guide is, you see.
The precision of the guide is very good.
And what's the strange thing? You cannot try it before because you have teeth. So you have to do a little bit. Sorry?
Ganz dringend auf Toilette. Was können wir da machen? Kann ich einmal 1, 2 Bohrungen machen und dann gehen? Oder tut im Mund was weh? Okay. Können wir das irgendwie machen, dass wir dann Toilette einmal frei machen und die Tücher wegnehmen? Ja.
This is real life.
Tissue Punch nochmal mit der Verlängerung. Ja. So we basically will continue the drilling, and Uli can continue with the lecture.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. We will do some interruption.
Okay, thank you. Switch over to the lecture. Okay. This is what I told you. It's real life. These patients are normal patients, and we don't hurry anything. We take our time. And I saw that I was very happy because, you know, when you're doing planning a guided surgery like that, and you're doing a guide on post-extractive areas, so you can have the problem that the guide is not going in position. So that then is everything finished, because just I had something like that some months ago. Then you have to interrupt because about Corona, it was a problem. When you take the impression before COVID and you want to make the surgery after COVID, no precision anymore. So you have to be very, very careful about these steps. And you need all the right tools to do that, because in the end, you will have enough problems if not. So back to the intraoral scan. That was the first step. Then we take the pictures from Patrick. Of course, he has a nice smile, but okay, he was unhappy with this situation and had to extract his teeth. That was a problem. So in the end, we have him to see them from both sides. You can go on and you make the pictures for the smile creator. The smile creator was amazing this morning. Waldo showed how to do it, and it's one step. It's everything a very, very exciting thing to do these things and to put everything together. Of course, a face scan. We need a face scan, and there we used the Belos face scan.
Yeah, that's it. Okay.
Look at the camera. Turn left. Turn to the middle. Turn right. Turn to the middle. Tilt your head up. Turn to the middle. Tilt your head down. Turn to the middle. Capture completed. Capture cap. The middle to the turn. Now, your head. The middle.
And all this data you need to place in the software. This is the work before. You see, we need the DICOM, and also this we did in Frankfurt. And he is doing all the registrations and everything. And then we have all the material to place in the software afterwards. You can see, you see also the problems with his teeth, not so much bone. It's a challenge to do things like that. So then, a very important thing is the module registration. We did it afterwards. With all 3 patients, we did the same job. Patrick, in the end, is coming back to surgery, so they are cleaning a little bit up, and we are coming back to them in a few minutes. Okay, so for the module registration, we were happy to have Wasim in the team with us. He came over from Lyon. He did the registration with us because he knows the machine very well, and he's part of the team of the developers. The invitation from Maxime and from Antran is our friends for me, and so we did all this research. You can see what happens there. It's not even an articulator, because the articulator is always an instrument outside. The patient is our articulator. So in that moment, we can register all movements. We let him chew, we let him talk, we let him make lateral movements, and the machine register all these movements. It is a video registration in the end, and this will be together in the end in the information what we can export in exocad. So that's amazing, because we have a very, very important part, the occlusion, inside in our platform. So that was all to take all these different steps, and it was not so much, but it was a day work, and we were 8 or 9 people working there. It was hard to do everything because 3 patients and desires and everything to do and explain. So can we go over to the surgery?
Yes.
Okay.
So basically we're starting, and we as well collecting a little bit of bone during the drilling procedure. Dann gib mir da schon mal den nächsten einmal, die nächste Größe. And the system is very nicely, because we don't have any spoons, so we can go directly into the socket. Most important thing is always to make sure that you stabilize the guide correctly. Again, collect a little bit of bone. Dann gib mir den ersten nochmal. Super. And we are starting to place the implants quite close to the middle, because of the fact that we want to stabilize the guide with the implants as well. Make sure that you have sufficient cooling. Nee, den kannst du mir noch einmal für die Seite geben. And in the meantime, Tessa is always collecting the bone from the burr. Very nice to collect this bone. We can then later on use for the other side. Das ist jetzt welche Länge? So we are now with length 11. I can feel that for both of the implants I have already good stability, so I won't do any under preparation. In case that I would feel already that the bone is very soft, I would then only go with the last drill of 1 dimension smaller. So in this case we're going to place 4.3 times 13. Okay. Den brauchen wir aber fast gar nicht mehr. 4 times 3 times 13. In case I want to do under preparation, I would only go with 3.8 times 13. So the last burr was 1 size smaller. Again, stabilizing the guide, collecting the bone. Das ist 13. Just wait. Das ist welcher? 11. Okay. So we go the other side, 11. And it's very important that you keep cleaning these burrs. So don't go this, because otherwise you will overheat the bone. So, yeah. So Tessa is always nicely cleaning the bone of the burr. So we use our last burr. So also here. So in case I would feel that the bone is very dense, which is not in the upper jaw, I could even use a dense bone drill. So what we're going to do now, we're also going to check again, without the guide, if the position is sufficient, how the bone level is around the area, just to make sure that all the planning is correct. Scharfen Löffel nochmal bitte. Super. Ist gut, den kannst du lassen. This looks good. Gib mir da nochmal den Dense Bone Drill, Tessa, bei dem den Dense Bone Drill für 13. Das ist genau, ja, korrekt. Nee, den 13. Das ist richtig. Den hier. 13, ja. So, in case of the fact that we have very dense bone, we have a special burr here we can use. Put the guide back. And then afterwards, we can already open the implants. Always making sure that the guide is in the correct position, which looks good here. And in this area where we didn't extract the tooth, we're going to use the dense bone drill not to have too much pressure there. Okay, then we can open the implant, the first for area 1-6. So I repeat, for implant area 1-6. Thank you.
Here you see all the steps.
Perfect.
That's the preparation, the brain
I
guided.
can show you how the system works here. 4.313 brauche ich. So we need 4.313. Thank you. Ist das kein Alkohol, ne? Okay. So I take out the implant now, very carefully. And this is also now basically the positioning tool for the implant in the guide. So we change the speed. So we can see now we have already 30 Newton centimeters. I change the machine now to 50 Newton centimeters to check.
Now you can stop also, you can make also the
And
other
now
side
we can
before.
see that the implant is nice in place.
Yeah.
Können wir einmal einen Spiegel zeigen? Or maybe you can see yourself, I think it's easier without mirror. The implant went down now. And obviously this is important that you have a system where you can play a little bit.
Okay.
I don't know if you can see it in the mirror maybe.
Oh, we saw it.
The implant is perfect in position. We can use 2.4 jetzt, das Implantat aufmachen. Nee, passt.
It's very important to do the other
This
side.
is always basically the challenge, and what you have to try out a little bit, that without the dense bone drill, in cases where you do immediate implant placement, sometimes it's sufficient, sometimes you need it, because in this case, the bone, even though its upper jaw is very dense, so we had the thing, and the implant is again 4.3 times 13, right? So also here,
so to place the implant on the other side, it's a little bit like with a car when you change a wheel. So you never place one side, you need always one side and the other side
So
to
this is
keep
the
it in the
next
right
implant.
position.
And we can see also now we have this next implant in place, which looks very good. So basically we will continue.
Yeah.
If Uli wants to go ahead with the lecture, that's fine. Otherwise,
yes, okay.
we will place the other implants.
Okay.
So next one is position 1-1.
Okay, I'm going on, and you will work. Thanks a lot. See you later. So now I'm coming back to the lab, and I will show you the steps what we have done in the last week. After the 24, we have to finish all the cases, we have to print everything, and to prepare everything for today. So that was an amazing part, which one the patient doesn't know, maybe the dentist doesn't know, and we are working behind every day, and we have to exchange a lot, of course, ideas with implant positions and everything, but it's going on step by step. So I show you here the steps. We have the data in the lab. And with this data, we start to prepare the complete digital workflow, because we have to place everything together on the platform that can work together step by step. We choose the right pictures for do smile design or smile creator and whatever. And we are starting to create the smile in that moment afterwards. Creating the smile, and we do the evaluation of the module, because the movements of the patients, in the end, are giving also a lot of important informations. Then we place everything in the exoplan software, and can plan with the new positions of the new smile creator design. We can place exactly the implants. We try to place them, if the bone gives us space enough, in the right position for prosthetical maximum. So the surgical guide design, we will do that. Then we do the temporary design. And then we have all together, and we will do the movements with module, and to understand exactly where we have to place all the different teeth in position. So then the last, or one of the last positions, is printing and milling. And the most important things, of course, is security and check control, because without that, you cannot go blind in a surgery like that. So it has to be prepared 100%. And of course, we're doing photography. If not, we could not show anything to you here. So printing is the next step. We are printing, of course. We're printing every day in our lab. We have a small lab. There are only 5-6 people working, because we have so much big cases, and it's very complicated to have new people in the team. These guys and people are working for years for me. There's one, she's working 20, Nicola is working 26 years for me, and Denise, everybody in my team is working for a long time, because we just look each one to the other, and we know what we have to do. So it goes step by step, and we're preparing all models. These are the situation models, like our 3 patient starts before. And so we have all the teeth in position, and it's the most important thing to have. We have these articulators printed out, of course, just to have the situation where the patient starts with. And then we start with the smile creator. And this is amazing how it works. But nobody's doing that better than Waldo. I would like to ask him to call him, help me. But in the end, we did it. And I think for the patient, it's a very good solution. The problem is also to place the teeth in other positions, because he has a lot of space in between the incisors, and he don't want to have it anymore. So you have to be, you are not in the positions, where you like to be. It's not in the same place where the first incisor was. We change positions. And you can see that there, and we have to close it. And then, so it's always a little bit of compromise to place it in a perfect place. So, and this was a smile created for him. And what we have in the next step is that we have the smile, his old smile and his new smile. So he's not opening too much his mouth. It was quite difficult to motivate him to open his mouth, because he's used to keep him closed, probably. In the next future, probably he will laugh a little bit more. So what we have is a module registration, and you can see different things. The protrusion you can do, you have all these movements, and these movements are necessary to create the occlusion in the right way for this patient, because we want to hire him a little bit. And you can do it exactly on the same road how he is doing his occlusion and his movements. You see, it's writing down all movements of this patient. We have all these informations. We have things are disturbing also, you see it in the line, and then you can add everything what you want. Place a new smile inside, the new superior, and then you have the face of the patient, and you have all his movements inside. And that helps exactly to find a new vertical dimension. You can find a new situation, and you can see how you can protect and guide the canines and everything inside in the software. And you can find, of course, you need some know-how about, you need to understand exactly how it works, but it's not so complicated like it seems to be. Then you can export this modular movements into the exocad software, and you make this movement, and you can, in that case, you can exactly see where are pre-contact points, and you can define the lower arch exactly in relationship to the upper jaw, in the same movements like the patient it has. So it gets, with this, it's not to take out the work and place in the articulator. So you take it, you keep it inside in this workflow, in the digital workflow, and that's what we want to do. Then when we are once ready with all this data, we start planning. So we were very happy to have Camlog in the boat to help us with a progressive line and to give us all the different needs for these patients. And here you can see the implants. And this is a camphor basement in between, because, you know, when we are doing cases like with 8 implants, to make a screwed retained restoration, you cannot have divergence. So you need from the internal hexagon, it will be an external hexagon with the camphor, and these implants are very deep, and you have the distance to come near to the gum. So it's better to and more easy to place screwed retained works afterwards. And you have the provisional abutments, and all of them, they are someone very small, and all of them together will be that where we glue afterwards our provisional. Then the implant placement, the basement of the implant placement, of course, is a situation, the new situation for the patient. And so we have to try to place the teeth that the prosthetical drive and implants exactly are in the center of each tooth. And then we can work on it, and we can do the planning. I'm very lucky that we, in the future, we have more tools with the new software. Here we have a little bit, we worked on the old one, but there was no time for the new one, and so we started to do these things, and we did some tries afterwards in the other one, software, to see how it works, but that will be in the next weeks more interesting. So you see, you have the prosthetical position is not easy in that case, because the bone, in that position, there's not so much bone, because he lost all the bone, the cortical bone, in front of his teeth. So we are more inside with the implants. So I would love to have it more easy, but this our patient, we have done these patients, and there is no ideal patient. Each patient has his own story, and so mostly we can place them exactly in the center. But here, the implants, we wanted to place straight implants, were falling a little bit outside. But that's fine, because we do it a little provisional, a little bit stronger, and then it will be fine. Here you see the nice placed implant in the position. That what now Michael is doing on the other side. And this is a picture of a planning, what I can show you if you're doing all on 4. There will be more tomorrow in the other case. So you will have, in the all on 4, you have the possibilities to turn around the angulated abutments. You turn them around where you need them. Have a look, that's cool. And you place it exactly where you want. Tomorrow he has, of course, to respect the exact position. It's a pity that you cannot see tomorrow's other surgery, because so you see different ways to work. And unfortunately, the patient, Christina, she will have a little bit less bone. So in the end, there will be some more things to do in this other surgery. So we have more in all on 4 on the lower arch. So you see what I told you before, the ideal position of the implants would be a little bit more inside. But as this patient has no bone in that area, we do this compromise and we will put the teeth in the provision a little bit more outside and fill them up. But it will be always a screw retained restoration. Then we step to the double guide technique. If you understood it before, like it works, and we will see later on when you change the guide. So we are doing no anchor pins. The placement is very, very sure, because I don't know how to explain it, but it's a little bit like free climbing. You have always a hand and a foot in place, and you will never fall down. You know, you have exactly, we keep 4 teeth, and the 4 teeth are defined. Mucosa, gum is not defined, so it can move. And it can change. And teeth have a very, very perfect position. And so if you can use 4 teeth to place a guide, it's wonderful. You place it inside. You saw how precise it was before. He places it, it's holding himself. The guide don't need these anchor pins, because there's a lot of blood and trouble with the anchor pins, and more work for the patient and more invasive. So it's with this strategy, it's a strategy to do that. You can have exactly a very good result without losing position. So you see on the left side, you see exactly how we have the first guide, and you see in the inspection windows, those inspection windows you can exactly place in the exoplan software, in the software when you're doing the guide, you can place them on top, and it's very important that the surgeon can see them. Sometimes people placing the windows behind and you cannot see them. You need it in the right points. So once he finished this surgery, the first step of the surgery, you place the guide away, and you extract, in that case, only the canines, both, and you take the second guide, and the second guide will fit exactly in the same position, because he has the same print, and you will fix and block it on 4-4. When you block it, you cannot block it in 3 parts, it's okay, you block it, but 2 are enough. So you replace, you go on with your free climbing, you go to the next step, holding the same position. This is something what I'm doing for years. Maybe it's not a lot of people doing that. I think it's logic. It's step by step. And I don't know how many surgeons are right now online, but we can discuss and you can write when you have questions about that and what you think about that. Not everybody maybe will have the same opinion. So you see the right side, the second guide. So let's see the steps. We did here a simulation. And so you have the teeth to extract in this color. Then you can extract them. And then you see the sleeves. And also this is a not easy thing to do, because there are distances between the sleeve and the implant. And when you have that Camlog is favorizing to say it has to be 3 millimeters, and when you're doing post-extractive implants, 3 millimeters sometimes are a challenge, because when you put out the teeth, you have a lot of gum, and so this distance is in total is 7.9 millimeters from the top of the sleeve going down to the implant. So you have to place them in exact positions, and you will find them afterwards in the guide, in his position, and you see also the inspection windows, and then before you have these teeth, the second guide, and you extract everything. But we keep the last one because they are not disturbing the implants. You have to extract, of course, those teeth which one are disturbing the position of the implant. And so we have there left them for until the end to have one position. And this is the second guide, and he will be fixed on 4 and 4. You see the direction, and you see the second guide. It's quite step by step, and it's logical. It's not so complicated. The only complicated thing is to understand exactly what happens and where will be the bone. You have to manage. You need brain-guided implantology because you have to know everything before what happens. That's very important. That's the lower jaw. Also there we can extract all the teeth. There we don't work with 2 guides. We work only with 1 guide. And we have 6 implants in the lower jaw. The front teeth we can keep because they are quite okay. And we will do a mock-up on the front teeth for this patient. And we will do, that we will do not today, everything. We place a mock-up on top in the end of the surgery when he's ready. So he will have his complete smile, but not ready. Of course, it's also a provisional work, what we are doing right now. He will keep in 6 months or 3 months, he will have the definitive work. And you will see that in the future probably. So you see implants after extraction. You see there are two other implants, the yellow ones, and then you see there are different directions, and then we go on and print our guides. You see, 1 patient, 3 guides. Sometimes 4, sometimes 2, depends. How is the position, how is the situation. When we sleeve the sleeve, we place, afterwards we place the sleeves. We don't need to place all the sleeves. You see in the middle is a second guide, we don't need them all. We need the important ones, that's of course the canine. We need the one where we want to block the guide. And back where there's not so much space, we don't place in these sleeves because it's needless, so in the end. And the lower jaw is only the sleeves with everything and the inspection windows, and you have everything. And this is the one what I told you, 7.9 millimeters from the head of the implant to the sleeve. And that is something what you have to know. It's not automatic work. You have to understand in your head exactly what you're doing. And if you know these measurements, it will be safer. You had to have it. So I'm coming from 15 years guided implantology. I started with these hand machines where you control, where you see the computer, and on the other side you place it on the model, so you get an understanding for things like that. So you print out your models, and you have the possibility to place in the models the analogs inside. You place one by one. It has a defined position. It has also a position, you know, also the hexagon and everything, or trialon. This is one is, you place it exactly in the place where it will be in the mouth afterwards. You have the gum. You print out the gum. Of course, you need, if you have a big lab, you need a lot of printers. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everybody needs a lot of printers for each material, because there are a lot of materials today. And then afterwards, you can place all the components on top. This is a camphor. And you can place also all the provisional abutments. And that can help you afterwards to go on and place the provisional. Then when you are inside in exocad, you define the occlusion, the one you have got from Mojo. So you can make all the movement and you can change all the form of these teeth and all the movements and contact points before. And then, step by step, you go on milling. And when you mill it, you have the circular bridge. This one is in PMMA. You have to see that it's strong enough. Because if implants or if provisional breaks, it's a problem. You can lose the implants. So in the end, it has to be something. It's not only nice, it has to be strong. It's more important to be strong than to be nice, okay? In the end, it's better to have some more material, or if not, if you see that's very fine, you need a metal frame inside to block everything together, and you can do it also by hand in composite. I did a lot of works with a metal frame. You can also mill the metal frame, and you can place by hand composite on top, because sometimes patients don't have money, and they want to do the work, but they cannot afford a definitive work, and so maybe a good metal frame provisional can keep for 2, 3, 4 years in the mouth of a patient until he's feeling well to do the definitive one. And then you have your result. And this is a mock-up what we have done for the lower jaw. And they will place it afterwards in the mouth. Let's have a look at what kind of points they are in the surgery. Can they hear us? Can you talk with them?
Yes, I guess yes.
No, I don't think so. I don't know what points they are. I go on a little bit with my lecture. I will tell you something else, also some handwork. And because when you are working on these models, you have the gum coming out of the gum. And when you're placing in the end the bridge, it's not so nice to work under the gum. It's better to be on the level of the gum. So I prepare some composite basements on the temporary abutment to just design the form of the outcome of the teeth. And you can, in that place, you place them and it's coming out, and you do the gluing a little bit over the gum, and you are ready to have everything clean and prepared, and you don't need to work under with blood and things under the gum. So this is a step you can see there. And then you have the provisional bridge. And this is on the lower jaw. The front teeth are printed, the mock-up, and the rest is milled. Like I told you, it has to be very strong. So in the middle, we keep this piece of composite or of PMMA in the center, because so we don't lose the occlusion. We place it on top, and then Paul will fix it, and it has the same occlusion like we are agreed from the beginning with Mojo. This is a 3D printed temporary solution. You see them, it's also nice. It's a it's a block. It's not done with composite. It's done with a multicolor block. And what I told you before, we take some impressions for security. And that's very important to have the security for the patient to be sure that everything is in the right position. Are they coming over? Okay, so you see, we control if everything is going down. It's very important in a case like that. Then thanks to Camlog, because it was amazing. I was in the lab, we had to work on it, and there was a box like that, and they sent me all the pieces for these 3 patients, and to place everything in good positions, and I was very happy about that. And this is the puzzle where they're working on later today, when they finish with the surgery. And I think We can go over to them.
Check. Let me just check.
Okay.
Ah.
Am I live again?
Yes, you are here.
Perfect. Good.
So we need our time. I prefer if we're doing everything very well. We have 2 hours for that. We will never finish everything. I hope that we place all the implants and show you the provisional in position.
Yes, so we can see also the last implant is nice in position.
So, why Modjaw versus others? Why did you use that one?
Why I use that one? Because I saw the development for years, and I found it amazing. And I don't know exactly what the others. There are some systems on the market. I'm sure there will be really good also, but I have no experience with the other ones. And I found in Mojo everything what I was looking for.
Okay. Do you place the implants sequentially or alternate for guide stability?
Yeah, alternate. You
Alternate,
have
right? You
always,
mentioned
like
that
with
in
a
your-
car.
Yeah, that was a good comparison. That's a German one. Was ist, wenn Knochen nivelliert werden soll? Gibt es die Möglichkeit, eine Nivellierschablone herzustellen?
When there,
Switch again?
yeah, okay. If you have to make a regulation of the bone, it's in the plan. You have to know it before, and there's nobody better than people like Michael to see things, what happens with bone, and they make decisions.
Okay. We have to go back. We just ask to go back. So,
Yeah?
ready?
Sehr gute Primärstabilität.
Wow.
Ja.
Looks clean.
Wir haben auch so einen kurzen Schraubenzieher. We're on. So we have placed every implant for the first guide now. You can see maybe in the position here, everything is nice in place. So what we're going to do now is unscrew the guide, and hopefully no implant will come out with the guide, right?
Yeah, it's can happen, yeah, of course. So your testimonial of everything what we are doing here. So in the end,
It's live.
it's live, yeah. No, I remember the times because more than 10 years, 15 years we were working on that projects that people said, I did it in 25 minutes, the other one in 20, I in 20. But it's not important the time, it's important the result because we have our patients and not a race, you know? So what you see is real dentistry, it's digital dentistry. Also, if you are like digital dentistry, you can join our society. We are the Digital Dentistry Society.
Okay. So
And
now
we have a
we're
lot
going
of things
to
like
take
that.
out the carriers.
Very good.
So also with this situation, we already have 6 implants nice in place, which is not too bad. So all the things are out that you can see here. And now
Perfect.
we're going to take out the guide.
Great job.
And we're going to rinse a little bit, and then you can see the situation here now. Thank you. Tupfer and zweiten Guide.
Okay, extractions.
So we can see all the implants are nice in place, also from the position here. Very minimal invasive, we didn't raise a flap. So I show you now the second guide. This is zweite, ne? So the second guide is stabilized on the remaining teeth, 1/8 and 2/8 in the back. And the problem is now we still have those teeth in the position of the implant. So we need to take them out now before being able to place the implant in that area. Mikroskalpell und dann... So always trying as minimal as possible, and also by pulling out you can always rip a lot of the gum, which is very important for the proper closure of the area there.
Dr. Bertel, can you hear me for questions? Are you ready for questions?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. There's a question for you.
I'm ready for questions. Yeah.
How can you be sure bone is intact on the buccal if flaps are not raised?
I still can basically feel with either a spoon or a probe how the situation is on the buccal side. And even if the buccal bone is missing, I mean, in this case, we were lucky because he had very thick bone. So from that point of view, it wasn't a problem, because what we're going to do, we're going to augment in the area on the buccal side anyway later on. Maybe you can see here now in the anterior region, we have a gap there. And if we place some autogenous bone in the area, it's basically a 3-wall defect, so we won't have any issues from that point of view.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah. Another one? How is guide stabilized if there is no implant carrier? But I think that was...
if the implant carrier is not in place,
no mounter,
then it's very important that you and the nurse stabilize the guide with your fingers.
Okay. Yeah.
That's the most important thing, that you always check that the guide is nice in position and you and your nurse are holding it nicely in the area. So therefore, I think it's very important to have a system which doesn't require spoon or is an advantage, because there you can fully concentrate on holding the guide in the right position.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 of the remaining teeth we needed to extract are out now, and the last one is coming now. We left by intention for now the remaining teeth, so the wisdom teeth in the area of 1/8 and 2/8 to be able to stabilize the gum there as well. Tooth is out as well, so all teeth are out nicely.
Well, perfect.
Patrick did it great. So now to the question again, how I can be sure if I don't raise a flap. So I can see here now when I'm pushing, the gum is not moving. So we have intact bone until here. Same on this side, when I'm pushing, the bone is intact, and also here.
Very good.
So now, maybe I'll, yeah, you can rinse. The second guide, I'll show how I put the second guide on now.
So next challenge.
Cross my fingers.
So also what Paul just mentioned, of course, we have seen it in the CBCT already before, that the bone is very dense. So now you can see the second guide is stabilized. Sorry. The second guide is stabilized on the wisdom teeth, and we're going to use implant in position 1, 4, and 2, 4 to be able to place the remaining implants there. So we can see this fits very nicely now.
Good job, Oli.
Not finished. Wait. If they are not going in the implants, it can be tricky. Now we fix them with a mounter. Placed from one side.
So now we basically going to try to fit in the area. So we have to do a little bit pressure there.
Yeah, maybe don't screw him completely in. Maybe do both to the same moment, only a little bit.
Zahnärztliche Pinzette einmal. So you can see now this flipped in now. Den Schraubenzieher kurz.
Not too fast.
Ja. Den kurzen aber. Für die andere Seite. And now we're going to.
So now afterwards is the next moment.
One temp in that position. And the other one as well. Okay.
Uli, for you, I think, is there as well a bone reduction guide possible if necessary, if you require it?
Of course, you can do that. Yeah, you can do everything.
Good. I was waiting for this question here. Why not remove all teeth and have a single guide supported with anchor pins?
because you're losing the control and the position. It's, if you look in the literature, there is the gum is moving, the gum is changing. There are some, of course, we are talking about very, very small difference, but
so you would say this is the safer way, the better way in terms of quality?
We have to define it literaturally, exactly. We are doing works with this and trying it. We have to make a measurement from one to the other one, but of course the gum is never as precise as the tooth.
Sure.
Because two-supported guides are more precise.
Den ersten einbauen, diesen flachen da, für Regio 1,3 und für den anderen den nächsten bereithalten. So we're now removing the soft tissue we just punched. You can also move it a little bit distally. Okay. And now we're going to start the drilling procedure for the other side. So we stabilize that again a little bit. Einmal das Pedal bitte näher ran zu mir.
Just we separated the most complicated steps. The steps was that it's going in place. The first risk. Second risk is to fix the second guide. That if something is different. And so in the end, these steps are done. So what is coming afterwards is more easy.
Spüren?
Also the case, I can tell you something to the case tomorrow. We have there we have an all-en-fond in the lower jaw, and we have also 2 guides tomorrow in the lower jaw, and the upper jaw is 1 guide. She has a lot of teeth, and we can keep some teeth in between. And at the lower jaw we have 1 incisor, it can be until the end. So something will keep always position. So that will be tomorrow, and will be also 2 full arch bridges, upper and lower jaw. And then the old lady, we will see next week what we placed in her mouth. Just we did all the things to prepare, but it was from the time frame better to concentrate on those both cases. Patrick wants to go to the stadion to his friends and to present himself with new teeth. So that's the challenge for today.
I don't know whether we mentioned that about
He
Patrick.
mentioned that, yeah.
He mentioned that?
Yeah.
So not sure whether you all guys all understood that.
But he's from Darmstadt, so...
No, he's from Darmstadt, but he works for Frankfurt.
No, but I asked him if he can... if he want to go on the stage with the T-shirt from Frankfurt. And he told me that his friends will kill him.
He works for the local, actually the Frankfurt Football Club.
It's his job. He's on the... he's working in the stadion and taking care for all things for Eintracht
Frankfurt.
Yes.
That's where he's not Darmstadt 98. And these are not best friends, these clubs.
No?
As usual in local sports.
So that's
he's really doing great. Patrick is a fantastic patient, really brave. Cool.
And Michael, you're doing an amazing job.
Yes.
I'm so happy.
Thank you.
I was less relaxed before.
You did a great job in preparation, I think, Uli.
I don't know. We will see if the provisional. After if we are in time, we will see Paul placing the provisional.
Yeah. Can you hear me, Uli?
Yeah, we can hear you perfectly. Great. Yeah, no, it's perfect.
I have also a comment because some of in the audience say, okay, why we need 2 surgical guides, double costs. But you have more costs if you have more to do with occlusion and other things, because the soft tissue borne guidance is never perfect in accuracy of fit. And so this is a perfect investment if you have a second guide. Secondly, I want to comment because of this Congress that also the devices where we have in the digital chain is especially the 3D printer. And the 3D printer now produces 2 surgical guides which perfectly fit to each other, so they are more or less identically. And there's also a nice publication since, I think, 1 month ago, that this accuracy of fit for these templates are perfectly in the reproducibility of the guide. So if we have two guides, we are sure they are more or less identically in the precision, and therefore it fits on the already placed implants. So you don't have a headache if the second guide is not working perfectly on the already placed implants.
Was war das? 13?
Yeah, that's thanks to the
13?
technology, to the machines, to the printers.
Yeah,
We
the
have,
machines are very accurate today.
Yeah, this one was a 3D printer from.
If you make these
Nexent.
templates with a original or no analog things like me, like a full denture, you get out of precision, and even the milled one is a little bit tricky. So now Michael don't have to talk; he has to work.
Ist das
So
13?
it's much faster.
So Paul, another question, or Uli?
Yeah.
When you do a bone reduction guide, you open up tissue, and how you're going to fix this guide in this case? And after bone reduction, how you place the drill guide? With pins? Question mark?
Depends.
No, bone reduction guide mostly is starting on the edentulous jaw. And here you have only one chance to make a fixation with screw or with pins.
Yes.
Depends on the system you use. And of course you have to make ahead the flap. Yeah, because you cannot make a bone reduction together with the soft tissue. This will end up in a mass. But I think every surgeon knows that, so it's nothing special. And there are two options. So after you make a bone reduction, you place a second one, which placing then the implants, but this is not so accurate. And therefore we have this approach nowadays that after you make the bone reduction, you click on the second one, or you have some connections so that you don't have the need for removing the first template where we do the bone reduction. But there are different approaches, and these kind of approaches are not quite so long in the implantology community. It's some years. So we don't have a lot of literature on that, how good or how bad it works.
Sorry, Paul, just one interruption. We have placed now all the implants. So what I will do now, I will unscrew the guide, or unscrew the posts again. And then the next step will be that we're going to place the comfort abutments.
Yeah.
So everywhere we have achieved a nice primary stability, even though this is post-extraction.
Are you ready for the countdown, Paul? You have to make race after. Maybe we can place
Don't
only.
worry, we are used to that because the prostate is always the last one, and so we mostly don't have a lot of time.
No, the
Don't
dental
worry.
technician is the last one. Did you don't?
He's the first one and the last one, right? But I want to say to the audience, if somebody is not familiar with the Camlog system, the comfort abutment is an abutment which is lifting from the implant level to the abutment level. That means you have this tube-in-tube system, and then you put in this comfort abutment, and then you end up with an abutment platform which is nicely designed for screwing on top the bridge. And I think this is similar, like other implant systems, call it multi-unit or others. It's the same approach. So we went from the implant level to the abutment level with this kind of abutment.
Von 1,6 nach vorne. Ja, die Aufbauten, ja. So now all the implants are placed. We can see that we have some missing bone in that area. I can show you also how much bone we collected. So this is all autogenous bone here.
Machen wir groß.
Wow. Yeah.
This is all we collected. Nothing artificial, just
so
during the
much,
drilling procedure. And this is very nice. This is we're going to place a Deckschraube einmal erst.
Okay, so give time to Paul to place some. I have another.
Deckschraube von den Abteilungen.
I have another 4 slides to show.
Oder gib mir mal eine. Ja, gib
can. So perhaps we can show that Michael plays 1 or 2 of this comfort abutments.
Yeah.
And then you can show your slides.
Okay, I think I start or do some, was haben wir in der Front? 1.1.1. So here is basically the comfort abutment. We have a screwdriver.
Is it possible to have 10 minutes more or no?
Which is stabilizing it, that it cannot fall down.
0.
And now the idea, so we do suck one more time and make sure that there's nothing in the interface. And then we screw everything into the implant. So we feel there is certain stop, and this tells us that there's nothing in between there. So we could give some Newton centimeters on there. Nehmen wir Prothetik 20.
So now you can show your slides, okay?
Yeah, okay.
We come back in about 3-4 minutes. We come back.
Okay. So we are back to the things they have right now, so we understand exactly what they are doing. You see the camphor abutments, you see the provisionals, and so that's the work what they are doing right now. And then yesterday we had a meeting and talking about the surgery, and we stuck together with Paul and everybody to exactly to understand what can happen. And in the end, there were a lot of things who could happen. But I think they did a very, very good job, and it works very well. And what I told you before, we keep time for doing that. It's not a race, and he will do everything perfectly. We have in our boxes, in our lab, we send out one case completely with everything inside. So in the end, the surgeon has only to work, and before he has to connect with us to place the implants in the right positions, because we don't know exactly where they have to be. We are not doctors, so in the end, we're preparing the case only for you. So that was a discussion with everything on the table, and there was a lot of things to see and to think about. And what I talked before, my good friend Scott Gans, probably he is in the US right now online and looking at our surgery, and I think that the brain-guided concept in brain-guided implantology is the thing what we do today. So you see how many people, Draghi, she was amazing organizing everything. Paul helps us, Federico with all the stuff, with informatics stuff. And to have the surgery room from Professor Zada is extremely good and nice to have with a lot of place. So what we have, the other two patients for tomorrow, this will be tomorrow. Similar situation, you see it in Mojo. And then we have a nice other one that with the old lady, and there is the same big thing to do. And we have also the face scan, everything, the project in the software. And this is something really exciting, what we have to do. And I'd help from Magdalena. She helps me too, because she's working with Mojo right now. And so this is also amazing to have these cases in the next future to see for you. And of course, we are in the D steps, the fourth as a surgery. And now we go back to the surgery.
You see also this abutment, which is a little bit making the socket entrance from the extraction socket a sealing, yeah? And this sealing is perfectly for the primary healing. And this was also in this digital workflow done by Uli. That we don't place now the round abutments, which coming from the company. We customize it a little bit, that the socket were closed, what you see.
Probably with the new Galloway, you can do it by the Galloway. You can mill them.
Okay.
It's very nice.
So, and after we place the second two, so we have 4, then we make a try-in of the bridge.
There's a question for Uli, a quick one.
Yeah.
Can you handle it?
Again, please.
Will you do this case with white and pink porcelain, rot-weiß Ästhetik?
Yeah, you can do it, but it's not this case. We don't need it because he don't lose the gum.
Okay.
So it will be a very nice frame. You will see it right now, and depends on the cases. The old lady probably she needs a red gum. So you have each case, and that's nice. You can plan everything before, and you know what you have and what you need.
But in this case, no.
No. He's young.
He's young. Cool.
Ja, ist okay. Was ist das, ATKI?
And also, if you do it post-extractive, it's not going down. You know, you have in the end a very stable situation.
Kurz einmal durchatmen, mal einmal zu. Können wir vielleicht ein bisschen hochfahren, dann drückt es auch nicht ihm so in den Rücken alles.
And there was another question more to us, not you guys. So will this be recorded so that we can see that again later? Yes, as I mentioned this morning, all what we're doing here is recorded, and the access is via your ticket and your access code, 4 weeks after the event. So you have 4 weeks time to watch everything again and see it. But I'm pretty sure that we will publish together with Uli, the clinic, and also find a way to publish the other cases. And Uli mentioned we'll do tomorrow, so you guys will do tomorrow the cases. We're nothing to do with it, just to avoid misunderstanding. So there's no live surgery anymore tomorrow.
Not live, but they will do that.
Yeah, they will finish them, and
we will arrange it also. Yes. They make photos and pictures and everything. So the documentation will be complete.
And as you already said, maybe just to use this 30 seconds, you already appreciated what Camlog did. Once again, from our side, thanks a lot to Camlog who supported us in this, and others like also Motra and whoever was involved, but especially Camlog for, you know, making sure that all the implants are available, that the patients can be treated. Fantastic. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
That's a real partnership.
That's amazing.
Fantastic.
All the team working in university, also Mojo sent the device to the University of Frankfurt to have it there. That was very nice from them. Sent also Wazim to help us.
The extraction of the 2 third molars now, and now we make the insertion, which is a very exciting moment from this breech. There is also a plate to fix it very well.
So we can see now there's a little bit of irritation, but we can get it down.
It has to be the perfect place.
So can you see that basically the important thing is now? So we have some range here, obviously that Paul can glue the bridge in the right position. So maybe here there's a little bit of tension, and Uli made something really nice that we can fix the thing on the pallet. So we have a clear position from the area there. And I think
because we have between the abutment and between this bridge, which was prefabricated, a so-called clearance fit, a gap. And if this has some tension, we widen up the gap a little bit, that we have really a passive fit, and then we can now glue this bridge intraorally with these abutments, and that's it. Then, and of course we place also the other 4 abutments, which are now missing because he had 8 implants. But with these 4, if it's now working with this 4, which has the biggest distance, it works with all 8 too. And therefore we make the first try in if everything works finally. And we are very happy because the bridge is in. It fits, and we only have to add then the 4 cam floor abutments and the 4 abutments for gluing.
Paul, can we see it in the front area? Is it possible to see it from the front area with the camera? How it closed on the gum?
Okay, we move the patient a little bit.
I don't know if you can move him, but to see how it started, because there was a question about the gum.
Try to bring it. But the patient, I think he cannot smile, he's a little bit exhausted.
He did a perfect job.
Come on.
Spiegel drauf von da.
Perhaps you can transmit,
The technician has to define it afterwards. It's
genau, am besten so. Perfect.
To see how it. Okay, there are the holes from the canines. They have to be closed. Okay. And it's
perfect.
It has to be stable because it's only. Okay, great. Thanks a lot.
And you can see also here the abutments, maybe that they're fitting or closing quite nicely the sockets. Okay. Thank you very much for watching. Thanks my team and everything, and we will continue and let you know the result tomorrow.
Okay. Wow, thanks a lot to everybody.
A big applause, please, especially for Patrick and the whole team. Wonderful.
Thank
Great
you
job.
very much.
Great.
We do our best.
Wow.
And Michael is the lead of all. Yeah.
Now, Paul, now the difficult comes for you. This is
Now
just
my
the
job is
surgery.
coming.
Yes,
Okay,
work.
thanks a lot.
Of
Kannst du
course.
noch die 4 Buttons dran schrauben?
Ja.
Thanks everybody.
Ja.
Great team. That's the
back-
team. Wow.
So, Patrick, wir machen.
Yeah, we go back to Uli now.
Einmal kurz auf.
Yeah, we go to say bye because we have Patrick here. Hopefully tomorrow we'll be happy, or this evening. But I think he will be happy because we
pretty
did amazing job, and I see all the people working with us behind, and that's very, very cool. And we all, also Patrick probably, say thank you, and it was nice to be here and to have the first important congress in Germany in the dental
In Europe.
world, in Europe. Wow. Thanks a lot.
So we have here the entire team, and you saw Dr. Berthold yesterday, only with a mask. So you might not recognize it, but now he's here. Thanks, and it was a great session, wasn't it?
It was beautiful. And also thanks to the whole team and to this brave patient. He was doing this all in one day, upper and lower jaw, full arch reconstruction. And I think, first of all, big applause for Patrick.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. It was amazing.
Yeah.
And I think the result in the end showed that all the time we spent in the planning on all the tools we used finally paid out and that everything matched. So
Yeah.
I was very happy. So here basically you can see the fit of the final prosthesis, or not the final one, but the temporary. And I think the important part is how we paid attention also for the already forming the emergence profile with these individual abutments Uli created. And also there we can see on the post-op X-ray that all implants are nicely in place, and all together this is what comes out if you use the tools in the right way and have the team with all the expertise from every field. Thank you one more time.
Perfect. Thanks again.